Hello there, and welcome to Candid Coach Conversations. I'm Kimberly Boyd, founder of Live Life Fully, and today I have with me Miss Shuntá Montgomery, the amazing Shuntá. Hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Doing great, and so glad to see you and be able to chat with you today. How was your weekend?
My weekend was busy. It was my grand twins' birthday celebration. And so, it was very busy with setting up for their birthday pool party with a nacho bar with a lot of different toppings.
So fun. Did they have a great time?
They did. They had a grand time. Yes,
A grand time for your grands.
absolutely.
I love it. So what was your most favorite part?
Of this weekend, getting to see their joy. One, when they went swimming, and then two, when they opened their presents. Believe it or not, Journey asked for an iPad and was not happy when she unwrapped the iPad. She was not happy when she unwrapped every gift until she got the specific gift that she was looking for, which was K-pop stars bedding. Go figure.
Okay. Girl knows what she wants.
Yes. And she kept searching and was like, okay, next, next. And when she got the bedding, she was like, okay, I'm out. I want to go put it on my bed.
My gosh, that's cute. Okay, so you enjoyed watching them opening their gifts, the joy, the excitement, time with their friends, and time with the family. That's good.
Yes. And I even invited strangers to the party because there were some kids at the pool. And I was like, it's no sense in we're having a nacho bar and having all this food and not inviting them. So I was like, hey, y'all want to come in and partake in the nacho bar? And so they did. I ended up talking and getting to know two of the ladies. One lady was the leasing agent that actually helped my daughter get into the apartment. And then another lady we think lives under my daughter, which yes, and it was very ironic and interesting because she was like, I think someone lives above me and their kid has autism. And I was like, yeah, that would be us, my daughter. And so I got to talk to the leasing agent about that and, share my concerns about that because we really did try to get a first floor apartment because we know he stims a lot. However, we wasn't able to. And so she kind of put my mind at ease and she was like, well, it is an apartment complex and people know what they get into when they get into an apartment complex.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Well, good. Awesome. Well,
yeah,
congratulations on celebrating your twins' birthday. That's super fun.
it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I think about you and the work that you do with people in your coaching business at Live Life Fully, I think about, personal development. And when I think about you, the queen of self-care, the queen of self-love, the queen of level up, I think about personal development as a whole. And the whole idea that personal growth is that it is personal. And I want to hear from you. Like when you hear personal growth is personal, like what comes up for you? What does that mean to you?
Great question. Well, what I have learned is that personal growth is my own experience. And I'm not only going to experience it differently from everyone else, I can't expect everyone to be ready for personal growth at my speed or when I'm ready. And I think that was one of the hardest lessons for me to learn because I'm like, I'm diving in, I'm ready for personal growth, and I wanted everyone else around me to be ready for personal growth. And that's not their story. They have to realize it for themselves and be ready for themselves. And so I could choose to accept them as they is, meet them where they're at. And when they're ready, they're ready.
So thinking about you, when you first decided to get involved in personal development or personal growth, what was the tipping point for you? So I know that you and I had talked about it. I was coaching people, but what was that tipping point? Because you're right. It has to be on your timetable. I remember another friend of mine when I came back from an event, I was sharing and all the things that I had learned. And that friend said to me, Kimberly, you need to remember not everybody is on the same personal growth journey that you're on. And I was like, okay. And so, so when I do, it is personal. And so what was that tipping point for you that made you decide, you know what, I want to get on my growth journey. And with that, I'm going to hire a coach.
Yeah. So for me, I think a lot of things started unfolding At the same time, I finished my hours for LPC, licensed professional counselor. And then I was like, what next? So between the what next and then always believing that I was made for more and that I was built for greatness, and I didn't know what was that? Like, what was greatness? How was I going to get there? I didn't know anything, but and I did know you. And just watching you and how you carried yourself and how you presented yourself. Like, I wanted more of you. Not like I wanted to be like you, but I just wanted to have that happiness, have that joy, have that I have my shit together and I am going places. Just having that knowledge of knowing with all of what are my next steps and how am I going to get there, and the confidence that you exude. Like in supervision, I remember you having me stand up and stand in a Wonder Woman pose. And I had never done that before, never heard of that, and never knew how powerful that was for me to actually do that and to represent such a courageous, powerful woman and to exude that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to be around her. I want to, I want to drink the Kool-Aid.
Knew that a pose could have such an effect.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so with that, because personal growth is so personal, so you made the decision. You struck the Wonder Woman pose. I do remember that day vividly. You struck the pose. And I think, if I remember correctly, the first pose, I was like, make it a little more bold and a little more loud. And so you did. And from that, you did. I remember. I mean, I know I witnessed these steps that you've taken and the changes that you've made, and keeping in mind that personal growth is so personal. When you think back to that time, like really look in that rearview mirror, did it have some impacts? Maybe negative, maybe positive, maybe a little neutral impacts with the people around you.
Absolutely. I laugh because, I think different perspectives will believe that it affected each one of us differently. However, absolutely. I feel comfortable sharing this story because recently my husband vocalized it. And so I was like, okay, you're okay with sharing this story?
Okay, what story is this? I want to know.
It was just that getting coached gave me my voice, right? Like, coming from a background of sexual abuse, witnessing drugs and alcohol abuse my entire life, I didn't have a voice. I was very codependent. I didn't know what love was. And so I accepted a lot of things because I just didn't know. And coaching helped me have my voice and realize that I matter. I have a say and that I don't have to take things that I don't want to take. Like, I get to decide how I want to live my life, how I want to show up, and who I want around me. And so, yes, coaching helped give me that voice to where I was able to vocalize that, hey, like, I'm not going to take the disrespect. And you don't have to be on this personal growth journey with me. And I'm still not going to take the disrespect. And so that continued the disrespect. And so even after being married to my husband for 11 years, getting a divorce and being divorced for a year and a half, and then getting remarried during COVID, I made the decision to leave him again because he was not respecting that boundary that I choose to be respected when we have a conversation, when we have an argument. I didn't care. And it definitely was a hard decision. It was not an easy decision. However, it was a decision that I felt I needed to make because he wasn't listening to me. And so, yeah, I packed up my son and we left. We moved out and we stayed gone for 2 years to where we were living apart, living separately. And we had some things that we both had to work on in order for us to get back together, for us to be okay with cohabitating together peacefully. Not necessarily peacefully, because I don't want to put out that it is all happy and sunshine and rainbows. Like, we still have our days, but we're going to have our arguments respectfully.
Sure. Okay. So the impact of your personal growth was, what I'm hearing is that you were really recognizing what you wanted, how you wanted to be treated, how you wanted to treat people. And with that, you made a decision to separate from your husband. So he was listening or he wasn't listening. You made the decision this is not the life that I want to be living, and therefore I'm going to remove myself from this living situation.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And so, and right, I don't know. You might say that was a negative or positive, who knows? And I'm wondering if you've noticed some other ripple effects of your personal growth, the path that you've been on this whole personal growth and personal development journey. Have you noticed some ripples that have not led to, because personal growth does usually change relationships, all
100%.
relationships. And so I'm curious, what other ripple effects have you noticed?
Well, some friends have weeded themselves out of my life for whatever reason. Time management is better, whereas I don't want to say I demand, but I go by a schedule now. Go figure. Whereas I didn't have a schedule, now I go by a schedule. And so I do value my friendships and I do want to spend time with my friends. However, I want to put you on my schedule so that I can be intentional with that time. Like when I'm there, I want to give you my attention. And so for whatever reason, some friends have left. They, you know, have their own personal reasons. My son, as a result of just surrounding myself with different people, he sparks conversations. So he's more vocal when it comes to talking to strangers. I am currently back at home. So I recently just moved back at home. So it is that ripple effect that, we both worked on each other and we both figured it out and managed to work back into each other's life under one roof.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, and I've witnessed your son watching you spark conversations and then sparking them himself, which has been outstanding to witness.
Yes, because whatever growth opportunity, personal growth development that I can get him, my daughter, my husband to, I do. I invite them along. It's theirs to accept or reject. And even when I invite them, they still receive the information that they receive.
Yes, absolutely. So when people are on a personal growth, personal development journey and recognizing again that it is personal to that person, what are some pieces of advice that you would give people so that it doesn't become like, I'm doing all of this person's not doing it, therefore I'm ending it, or it's over, or anger and resentment toward the person that's not on that same path? What is some advice you would give?
That seems more like it's about them than the other person. And so that's focused on others' growth rather than your growth. And for me, personal growth is your growth. Like, I didn't leave my husband because he wasn't growing. I left my husband because the way he treated me, I no longer wanted to be treated that way. And I let him know, hey, that's not acceptable to me anymore. And he continued to do that. And so that's why I left. But I do believe that, it's your journey, it's your walk. And that sounds more like an ultimatum, like, either you grow or I'm gone. Well, that's not fair because you had to grow in your own time and then you had to take your own strides to get to where you at. So I think it's more so about setting healthy boundaries. And if that person is willing to work within your healthy boundaries, then there's still opportunity for growth in a relationship because that's growth.
I love that you said that, because saying that, the person themselves, they had to take the time, or it took them however long to get to the point to get on a personal growth path. And I love that you said that, because one thing I like to remind myself is, what if everyone is growing every day and growth looks different? It looks different on you than it does on me. It looks different on the stranger that I met at the grocery store. Like, what if we stopped and thought, like a reframe of everybody's growing every day in one way or another, and it might be different.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up.
And who am I to judge their path and their way? Like, again, it goes back to boundaries and how they're treating me and what I expect in a relationship. And if they're checking off that, then to me, that's a plus. And if they're working on their growth, or like you said, they're doing their own thing in their own ways, that's still growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you is that it's not always about perfection or a person doing everything perfectly and just right. It is about the awareness. Like, I think awareness is so important, and having that personal awareness that, shoot, I said whatever, and that's something that person didn't like. And I realized I said it after it came out of my mouth and I can't put it back. And even though I can't put those words back in and swallow them, what can I do? And I can go acknowledge what I said or what I did.
Yes. And I think perfection will stop people. Like if you're expecting perfection out of yourself or anyone, that's going to stop you. I know it would stop me. Not perfect by any means. So for me, I have to remind myself it's progress, right? Like I am making progress. I am one day better than I was yesterday.
So, how do you track that? To know that you're making progress. And again, this is your personal growth journey. And so I'd love for the listeners to hear how you track that. So if you're better today, one bit better, one step, one tidbit better today than you were yesterday, how do you know? How are you tracking it?
Great question. And I think it really just depends on what you're working on
Okay.
for you to be able to track it and be able to know it. And so, like, I set intentions for my day. I have a 6 o'clock alarm that goes off that reminds me to be positive, present, and purposefully. And so, at the end of the day, I have a reflection, right? Like, was I positive today? Was I living on purpose? And was I present? And if not, then I need to reflect. And sometimes I do have to go back and apologize and say, hey, you know what? That wasn't quite positive what I said. And by no means did I mean to be negative by saying those words. And so I apologize. And so for me, that's my way of tracking. Like, how many times did I have to go back and apologize? When I was with my family, was I intentional? Did I have my phone? Did I have my laptop out? So it's just personal things that I'm working on. Am I moving the needle? Am I progressing in that?
Beautiful. Okay. So the reflection piece is how you're keeping track of your progress.
Yes.
Great. And so you talked about setting the intention each morning and you have that alarm that goes off. Does that alarm change or is that like set for life?
Right now it's set for life, for right now, life, because I'm still working on that.
Okay.
I think once I master it, not perfect it, but master it, then it will change because it has changed. I can't remember what it used to be, but it has changed over the years because I hadn't always needed to be where I'm at now. I needed to work on something else. And so now I'm worked on that and now I move towards this.
So good. Okay. So you said not perfect it, but master it. A, what is the difference? And B, how will you know?
Another great question. So when I think of master, I think of the STAR test, right? And there's a score. I know, but there's a score, right? There's a range to me in my head that says you mastered it.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you got a perfect SAT score. It just means that you got in the range that you absolutely, without a doubt, know what you're doing when it comes to this subject. And so perfectionism is for me perfect, no mistakes. You do this all day, every day. This is what you do.
Okay. And so how will you know for you personally? Again, personal growth is personal. So how will you know personally when you have mastered that morning intention of positive purpose and the third one,
Present,
present?
present.
Yeah.
When it's not something, it's second nature. It's not something I have to think about and be intentional about. So my reflection piece doesn't even have to come in the afternoon. It's more automatic right then and there in the moment. Oh, wait a minute. That's not how I want to show up. So let me rephrase that. Or even not even showing up like that anymore.
Okay. Awesome. Any other words or ideas that come up for you when you think about personal growth being personal?
I believe greatness is in everyone.
Gotcha.
And so I believe that we just have to not just we get to untap it. You know, you get to find it and figure out what does your greatness look like
Mhm.
and then show the world.
So good. Awesome, Shuntá. I'm so glad you joined us today on Candid Coach Conversations. And I do hope you'll come back and chat with us again sometime soon.
I will love to.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Candid Coach Conversations. Remember to live life fully and enjoy every moment. We'll see you soon.